Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Shiz and Giggles, our weekly wind down. We talk about anything and everything. My name is Demi, and I am your host today, but I'm never alone. My first co host favorite hobbies are fine dining and making money. She is forever a sorority girl, lifelong student, aviation enthusiast, and wannabe chop champion. But most importantly, Barack Obama follows her on Twitter. It's Andrea. Hi, Andrea. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Demi. How are you doing?
I am so good and I am so excited for today's episode. It has been so long since I've been on here, so I'm excited to be here today. And it's been a while since you've been on here, honestly.
Been forever.
So I'm excited to have you, but we're not alone today either. My next co host is Holly Jackson. She is a mom to one baby boy, and she also has a multitude of pets, including three dogs, a cat, and a man. But she is a great coworker, and I'm so excited to have her here today. Hi, Holly. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. Happy to be here.
So I'm happy to have you both here. And to kick things off this week, we're going to talk about a trending topic, New Year's. So, as we all know, today is New Year's Eve. And we're going to discuss our 2021 reflections in relation to our segments. And I look forward to hearing about your 2021 favorite things. But before we get to that, I wanted to share the origin of New Year's. So, a fun fact is the first New Year's celebration dates back to 4,000 years ago. History.com reports that the earliest recorded festivities in honor of a New Year's arrival date back some 4,000 years to ancient Babylon. For Babylonians, the first new moon following the vernal equinox, the day in late March with an equal amount of sunlight and darkness, heralded a new start of a new year. Julius Caesar, the emperor of Rome, was the first to declare January 1st a national holiday in 46 BCE. He named the month after Janus, the Roman god of doors and gates. Janus had two faces, one looking forward and one looking back. Caesar felt that a month named after this god would be fitting. So I'd like to ask my co host and the people watching, do you have a New Year's Eve tradition?
Yes, always. I've had a lot of New Year's and I'm grateful for all of them. And so, one of the ones that I love, of course, is counting down the New Year's. I've spent a lot of it with family most of the time. Usually, in my youth, it did mean going out to various clubs and things and dressing halfway naked and especially different when you're in Michigan because it's cold there. And so,
It's
which is
cold.
where I'm from. So but that's what you do because you have to be cute for the new year. But recently, New Year tradition has included some sort of highfalutin dinner to bring in the new year and some sort of costumery for celebrating. But that's been it for me. What about you, Holly?
Don't really have a New Year's Eve tradition, but my family obviously does. My immediate family gathers around the living room. We play some games. We like to play Heads Up or Headbands. Heads Up. I played that in school. Yeah.
The
The
thing it's
headbands
on
game.
here, and then
Yeah.
it's like the thing, and then you gotta, okay.
Yep.
Yes.
So not Heads Up because that's like tap on the head, school age. So not that one. But headbands. Headbands, yeah. So we play that in the living room and we pop champagne and we drink and be merry, but we all watch the ball drop, which is so exciting. And my dad actually lives out of state. So I call him and wish him a happy new year. But he's still technically in the old year because he's an hour behind. So that's a nice little fun tradition that we do. Just intimate family, but it's nice.
How is it back there in 2021? Ha
Right?
ha 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 ha.
right?
Oh, that is so fun.
What about you,
I
Demi?
love that.
Anything for you?
I swing with the family thing. I typically do something with my family almost every year. I've done things with friends a couple of times, but bringing it in with family is always fun. A couple of times I've done it where we all sit on the couch and we eat ice cream and drink champagne. So it's just fun to sit around and kind of be chill in pajamas. This year, and we're getting dressed up just together at the house. And her boyfriend is a waiter, and he has to work, unfortunately. So we're gonna get dressed up, hang out at the house, and then at like 11:30 go to his restaurant so that she can see him at midnight. But other than
Oh,
that, just staying in.
that's
Yeah,
so
so that's
sweet.
fun. Yeah, so following New Year's Eve, most people do something else, which is create New Year's resolutions. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? I'm
Nope.
gonna start with Andrea. There
Nope.
she goes.
Well,
Nope.
she's already ready.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
None?
Nope. No. 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 I used to do New Year's resolutions. I thought that was cool. And then I realized, I could start a resolution anytime. It doesn't have to be on the new year, right?
That's true.
So if I decide I'm gonna lose weight and it's like July 3rd, then I'm gonna do it then. If I decide I want to get my finances, straight and start budgeting and build a plan, and it's like September 2nd, then I do it then. I don't wait for something to
Yeah.
happen or put a big emphasis around this one day, because it just builds up all of this. It's exciting because it does give you a definite date in the calendar, but you
Mhm.
can do a definite date to make a life change anytime.
Any day.
Any day. There's like 365 of them, sometimes 366.
Thank
Any
you.
day you can make a resolution. So no, I do not do one specifically for the new year. However, I do take time to reflect, and I do love
Mhm.
that more so than like, here's what I'm going to do next year. That's just goal setting. But like,
Mhm.
what have we accomplished? That's big. That's big.
Yeah. Mine, I
I
don't
definitely
really
agree with
have.
that.
Go ahead, Demi.
I definitely think that whenever people set New Year's resolutions, it's always something that's crazy unrealistic. Like, it's never something that's a reasonable, attainable goal. A lot of times people set things that are kind of crazy hard to accomplish. And I agree with the fact that you can set goals any time of the year. And when I was younger, I definitely tried to do like, this year I'm gonna blank, or this year when I was in high school, I'm gonna get straight A's. That never happened, I can tell you right now. But it's definitely something that I like the idea of taking that time to reflect on the year that happened before and maybe thinking on of how you could improve in the next year, not setting a goal necessarily, but thinking of how you could take lessons from the year prior and apply them to the next year.
Couldn't
Holly, what
That's a
agree
about
good way
you?
to look at
more.
it.
Couldn't agree more.
I know. I don't really set any resolutions, but I like to reflect on the previous year. I did set one resolution last year, which I was not able to meet. It was nothing like intense, but I want to try it again this year. It's to read at least 2 books a month. I love to read. I do have the zoo at home, as Demi mentioned in my introduction, but finding time to, take care of me, and taking care of me is in multiple ways. But one way that I really want to hone in on is diving into a deep book, a good book, escape in that sense. So
That's good.
2 books a month, I think I'm
Ooh,
going to strive for that.
that's a good one.
For sure. I definitely like
Jackson's
that one.
children's books at night we read don't count,
Don't
unfortunately.
do it. I am an avid reader. I definitely recommend Kindle Unlimited. Books are expensive, honestly.
Hmm.
And books typically cost like $9 to $10. And if you're going to get 2 a month, Kindle Unlimited is $10 a month. And you can get up to 5 books at a time, and you can like return them and then get new books. I probably get
Oh,
10 to
wow.
15 books a month.
I like the
Yeah, just
satisfaction
like
of
read for
turning
the flavor.
the page, though. Like, I'm very old
I do
Oh,
get
school.
that.
I love that.
I was like that
So,
for a really long time, and then I studied abroad, and carrying 15 books with me was very heavy.
so it's like, nope, Kindle.
Kindle. But it is, I
Mhm.
like the page turn because it slows you down, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if it's
You
not
can
reading like for
process it.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like when you're work and you're doing emails or whatever. But I know what you mean. Like it's tea and then the
Yeah.
page flip. It's so
Blanket,
nice.
like it's awesome.
Yeah. Definitely nice. All right. So thank you both for sharing that. I think it was a good take and things that people can definitely take in their everyday life. And now we're going to start with our host favorite things of 2021 countdown. And it's time for segments. So let's go to Andrea with You Got This.
I'm so excited. I get to share with you 3 of the top 10 countdown items, and we're going to start at number 10. Number 10. Love, I don't know if, have you guys ever heard of Iconic? I love
Mm-mm.
No.
Iconic. It's
It reminds me
so
of Monopoly,
cool.
though.
This reminds you of Monopoly, and the cool part about Iconic is they have great artwork that is all motivational, and it's big, like they do large format artwork, right? So they'll take, this is one of the collections, this is the Monopoly collection, right, where they take the concept of Monopoly, like the look and feel of it, and they put great quotes with it, right? So it's really, really cool, really hip. They do it with like sports athletes. There are some folks that have their own collections, like famous people like Damon John and Gary Vaynerchuk. But I love some of the quotes, and I absolutely love the Monopoly collection. This is just part of it. I mean, they have boards filled out, like there's a Park Place, but it's like about optimism, right? So instead of Park Place, it says optimism. So it's really cool. Love it. If you haven't discovered Iconic, you can go to their website to learn more. But I love it. One of my favorite finds of 2021. So I have another thing to keep you motivated. Number 9. Numero 9. So have you all heard of Truebill? Anyone heard of it?
I have
I
heard
think I've
this one.
seen like a commercial once or twice. I'm
So,
interested.
let me tell you about Truebill. I pay for it. It's a subscription service. They say you can start it for free and all that. But after a while, I don't know that you want to. It is for the price. I think it's super affordable, but it is a way to manage your finances for so one of the things that's gotten out of control is subscriptions. Like I don't know about you all, but who has Disney Plus? Do you guys have Disney Plus? Yeah, or like, yeah. And then like Amazon Prime is another subscription. And then it's Hulu and Netflix and Peacock. And it's like all of them cost money. And it's like, what is happening? And so what I love about, and then there's things you don't pay for or like don't remember. Like, so Demi mentioned Kindle Unlimited, another subscription service, right? Well, Demi uses hers faithfully. I don't use mine faithfully. So, but I forget that I'm paying for it sometimes because some of these things are like $2.99 a month or $3.99 a month. And it's like, I don't see it come out of my bank account. So that's on me. I'm getting better at it. But Truebill has been really helpful. One, it identified, I like put in my information into the app. It identified all the things that are subscriptions, like it finds recurring charges. And it says, hey, if you want to cancel them, it's super easy to cancel them like right there, which is great. The other thing that it does later on, since your bank account information is all hooked up to it, it'll give you alerts like, hey, you just had a deposit. It'll tell you about your spending patterns. Like, did you know that you spent, and this was embarrassing, $800 with Instacart last month? Now, listen, it wasn't all mine. It was some office stuff too, but still it was good to know, like, whoa, that's a lot of money. I can't even imagine what the delivery charges were for those Instacart orders. And so it was really good for them to just show you, here are some things you need to know about your finances, just big picture things. So I recommend number 9, Truebill. Love it. Found it in 2021. Maybe it's been around forever, but I just discovered it. Number 8. Okay, so number 8, inspirational podcasts. inspirational podcasts. So I found two this year. One of them has been out for, well, both of them have been out for maybe a couple years, but I just found it in 2021. So that's when it counts. Favorite thing of 2021, the Prof G podcast with Scott Galloway, and then Pivot podcast with Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway. Kara Swisher, FYI, is a phenomenal tech writer. She's in the tech space, but she's a writer. And she's also going to be part of the Richmond Forum's they have speaker series. She's actually one of the interviewers for, I believe it's for Bob Iger, which was like someone else. From formerly Walt Disney, right? Who was formerly the CEO of Walt Disney. So she's going to interview him. I think that's right. Cause I was like, oh, that's the one I'd want to see. That's amazing. Like coming straight out of the year, first thing, that'd be like, whoa, that's exciting. So anyway, Kara Swisher rather is really, really great. Scott Galloway has been a part of a number of companies. He sits on a number of boards, and I mean like the board of Panera Bread, right? Like, so the like corporate boards. The thing that I love about their podcast is they talk about tech, they talk about business, but they keep it very relatable. So it's not so way up here that you can't understand it, but it's very relatable. They talk about, their faves of people. Kara has interviewed everybody, like all the tech people, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and all the people. She has opinions about all of them. They're just very honest and open. And I love it. If you're into businessy things, if you're into motivational things, if you're into things that'll get you thoughtful about your career, definitely take a listen to one of these two podcasts. So I round this out. Have you two ever heard of it? I know what Demi listens to.
I listen to what Demi listens to. True crime.
True crime.
I listen to true crime, but I've tried multiple true crime podcasts. I only listen to one true crime podcast. I'm horrible, but they're my favorite. It's called Morbid. And I've been trying to listen to more business women ones or business people ones to be better suited for my adult life now. I'm working on it. I told them earlier about when I tried listening to it. I definitely want to look into these two. I'm going to try looking into other ones. Sometimes I just find podcasts cheesy, and it takes a really talented person to get you interested in an hour-long podcast about something. Like it's the first episode you click on has to have that catch for you to get into it. But thank you so much, Andrea, for those helpful tips with those podcasts and Truebill and Iconic art pieces. I've been really trying to get into good art pieces. So I'm excited to look into all of those companies. And next up, we're going to move on to Holly for Baking Up Magic.
Okay, number 7. One of my favorite things that I have learned this year was spatula painting on cakes, believe it or not. This is a top trend from 2021 in the baking scene, as it should be. Look how cool it is. You can do multiple, these are not my cakes. I would love to take credit, but they're not mine. Mine don't look good as this. No. But what is spatula painting? First off, spatula painting is where you take a spatula and you create leaves or strokes with globs of paint. Globs is not the right word, but it's what we're going with. To create a piece of art. And the same goes with spatula painting on cakes. Instead, the canvas is the cake and your paint is the icing. So a lot of different techniques are, depending on the size of your spatula, you can create big leaves, if you will, or you can kind of spread it out in larger waves. Okay. This technique is abstract. It creates effortless designs. You don't need to be very creative of such, but it's amazing. Look how beautiful they are.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah,
that is
the one on the left is so cool.
Yeah.
The purple.
Yeah.
You know who would be good at this?
So thin.
I feel like fine artists would be good at this. Like people
Yeah.
like Emily, she's a colleague of ours. She comes from a fine art background. She does our visual content and our creative and manages our studio, our film studio. But she has a fine art background and she knows like what to do on a real canvas. Like I feel like she'd probably be amazing at stuff like
She
this.
probably loves
Oh, yeah.
my globs of paint reference. So that's why I mentioned it. It's not the technical term, but it's what we're going with. Sorry, Emily. So next, number 6. I have personally never tried this, but I guess I need to because it made a huge impact in 2021. Like my exclamation point. Mug cakes. Mug cakes. By definition, a mug cake is literally a cake that is made in a mug.
Also haven't eaten lunch.
Right?
That looks good. I'm like, that looks so good.
It's okay. We can make mug cakes for lunch. Yes. So it's typically made in a microwave, as most mugs are not oven safe. And you can actually purchase mug cake sets in the store. Betty Crocker makes some. I believe Pillsbury makes some. So there's different outlets that offer these groups of mug cakes. I've never made one, but I like the full cake. I will eat a full. I'm not a much dessert person, but a cake, I can get down with some cake.
I've never made a mug cake. I've made a mug cinnamon roll.
Ooh.
So it's like similar concept, but I was really craving some cinnamon rolls one day. And so you like get all the ingredients and you put it in and you put the cinnamon in and then you like swirl it, put it in the microwave, it heats up, and then it gives you a recipe for the icing on the side that you drizzle on top afterwards. It was amazing. I made it every day for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
But
okay.
So Andre's like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. Well, no. I've had it. I've done it. And I'm saying it looks good now because I did not eat lunch. And I'm like, I could like eat my desk right now. I'm so hungry. Like this cardboard would be delicious, I'm sure. but as far as mug cakes go, I used to get into them. And then I had cake like from cake places. And now I can't go back. Like I just can't. It's like, meh. It's like I need something sweet that's cake adjacent, right? And that's what it reminds. It's cake adjacent because it's the microwave, right? It's the microwave. The quick the fast bake is what kind of.
It reminds me of like Easy Bake Oven.
Oh man, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, on a light, it would be like just a regular light bulb.
Yeah. So that goes to my question: how many people watching and you two have ever had a mug cake? Andrea, you said yes, but it's not your cup of cake.
Cake.
Demi, no cake, but you have had cinnamon roll. Okay.
Yes, I've had the cinnamon roll. I haven't had the cake. I can say the cinnamon roll, it's not better than a normal cinnamon roll, but it was good in a pinch.
In a pinch.
I get that.
In a pinch. It's good in a pinch. I definitely didn't want to make a whole batch of cinnamon rolls, so it was good in a pinch. But if I had the option, but cinnamon mug cake thing, cinnamon roll, going with the cinnamon roll.
True.
When was the last time you had a Cinnabon? God, I'm hungry.
Oh.
They sell them at amusement parks, and I just feel like it's a bad decision waiting to happen, but I do it every time.
Moving on to number 5. Speaking of cakes, we're talking about baked oat cakes. Cake. So 2021 proved, if anything, that using baked oats as your flour makes for a good baked oat snack. You can also add many flavors to this to customize it to your liking. You can add chocolate to make it dessert-esque. You can add bananas to make it kind of a morning breakfast, or just enjoy it as a snack throughout the day. I have never tried one of these, but I must now because it's become so popular over the last 12 months that I did find a recipe, and I would be happy to share it with you all. But it really depicts on your palate because you can make it to your liking. Everybody's palate's different. So between these two, I have a picture of chocolate and vanilla. Which would you try?
I'd go with chocolate.
Always.
I'm a chocolate girl.
I'm a chocolate girl.
I can tell you, I love chocolate cake, and I, I just, I can just like looking at them too. The chocolate looks better, and I think it's because it looks like a chocolate lava cake to
Like,
me. But I feel like I would dip into it, and it
Oh,
wouldn't taste like a chocolate lava cake.
disappointing.
But I feel like I would go with the chocolate.
okay.
Fair
I
enough.
would too. Yeah, you've sold me.
Fair
I'm gonna
enough.
make it. I'm gonna make
You're
it.
welcome. I got you. Don't worry.
So those were the top 3 baking trends of 2021, and one of which I've learned and done, the spatula painting on cakes. But I need to try the mug cake and definitely the baked oats. I can kind of get on that bandwagon for breakfast. I can see that.
Holly, thank you so much. Those were some great tips, and I'm sure everyone would love to get those recipes. I found many of those on Pinterest, Facebook, Tasty, all the way on YouTube. And we're going to be wrapping up today's episode with my segment, Here's a Tip. So I am going to be giving you some of my favorite tips that I've followed and or learned throughout this year. So first up, my tip is sticking to your goals. And something we brought up earlier, which is I don't mean New Year's resolutions, and I truly commend people who make a New Year's resolution on New Year's Day and stick to it all year. I mean making goals throughout the year that are realistic to your lifestyle and actually being able to stick with them. One of the goals that I stuck to this year is paying off double what was due on my student loan amount each month. So every month I put away double and then I paid off double each month, and I've stuck to it this whole year, which I've been really proud of myself about. And the way I did that was I created a separate savings account for my student loans only, and I put money in that account and I don't allow myself to touch it. So that's been super useful to me. And I want to know, have any of you made goals this year in 2021, and did you stick to them?
It was the book one. That's why I'm going to have another go at it. I got pretty far. I got through May of this year, and 1 month I read like 4 books. So let's just say June. I made it to June.
So, hey, it carries over.
Okay, perfect.
Well, and also, are there any goals that you made this year that you want to carry into next year because you either didn't complete them or you really liked that goal and you want to keep it going? Because I know I'm going to keep my double payment going.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Way to go, Demi, for that. That's a big thing. Working your way to financial freedom is like, well, the thing we all aspire for sure.
Life goal.
Life goal. Speaking of life goals, so I made a set of goals for the decade. So my goals are for 2020. Like in 2020, when it first started, I was like, I was told by someone I respected, let's make a decade goal. Like it should be 10-year goals, right? What do you want to accomplish in this decade? And I think at a younger age, I would have been like, that sounds ridiculous. And then I realized how fast 10 years goes. And it's like, whoa, this is insane. So I actually have a decade goal. And one of the things that I've learned over time is that you marry the goal, but you date the tactic. So you don't get so stuck in how you get to your goal, but you keep the goal as what it is. So even though the pandemic happened and all these things went crazy, my goals themselves have not changed from when I first wrote them, because I actually looked back on them earlier today, and they haven't really changed. I still want to accomplish those things. I just know that how it's going to happen is going to be different. So I've definitely been sticking to my goals.
Good for you.
Good. That's amazing. And I want to hear from everyone watching what your goals are. If you've been sticking to them, what you're going to do in the new year, carrying stuff over. I love hearing about other people's goals because it inspires us to create our own goals. Next up, with sticking to your goals, is the power of planning. So, something that I've found to be very helpful for me this year is planning out my time. So, when I got my first quote unquote big girl job this year, it definitely changed a lot in my life. I went from pretty much being free all the time to having a 9 to 5 job on Monday through Friday. And it made me realize that my free time was very valuable to me and what I did in my free time. That includes spending time on yourself, spending time with your family. And what I did was I made sure to schedule out my time appropriately so that I wasn't overwhelming myself with things. Like at first, I wanted to do everything. I wanted on my time off, I wanted to spend time with my friends. I wanted to go out. I wanted to learn how to do trapeze. I wanted to be crazy and do all these things. And I just realized it wasn't realistic when I first started out. So I think that planning out your time is really important. And that is why I am currently in the process of creating my own personal planner based on how I prefer to learn and how I prefer to plan. There are two different websites that I like to use and I've used in the past, one of which is Erin Condren. You can plan out, you can make your own planner on there. One that I recently found that I prefer is called mypersonalplanner.com. And you can make your own different layouts based on how you like to schedule out your week. You can add in monthly goal segments. You can add in workout segments to track your workouts. You can add in budgeting trackers. So you can make this notebook this big, or you can make it this big if you only want to plan out your months. And that's something that's really important to me, is I like having everything in one place that I can look at and find things. So that's something that I want to get better at in the new year and continue doing and thriving in. So this planning, it kind of relates to my first tip and my last tip, which I also brought up, which is self-care. So everyone at the office knows that I am huge on self-care. I take my baths 3 times a week, which is time for myself. And a lot of people that I know have the phrase they say all the time, which is, I don't have enough time to take care of myself, which everyone is busy and I completely understand that. But and that's the importance of planning, is you can make time for yourself. And that's something that's really important, is if you go into doing something with the mindset that you're doing that, even if it's playing on your phone or reading a book, if you go into reading that book thinking, this is something I'm doing for myself right now. So for this whole hour that I'm reading this book, it's me time and it's time for me to refresh and renew. It'll help do that. But if you go into that activity thinking everything sucks, I hate everything, this has been the worst, and I'm doing this because I just need whatever, you have to go into things with intention. So I think that's really important on going into it. And if you need more ways on how to take care of yourself, everyone has different ways of how they take care of themselves. I like reading a book and taking baths. I like doing yoga. Some people like having a drink. Everyone's thing is different. So we did a self-care Shiz and Giggles episode. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you directly to the episode, and it'll give you some of our tips and tricks as an office of what we do to do self-care for ourselves. So those were my 4, 3, and 2 of our countdown. And I want to say thank you so much to our co-host for sharing their favorite things from 2021. And we are going to end this episode with AAP's favorite thing in 2021. Our AAP Wrapped video. So 2021 has been a wild ride, and we have accomplished so much over the past 12 months. Well, the last 24 months, we couldn't change the cards we were dealt, so we changed the game, and our team got together and created stats video that highlights all the milestones that we have accomplished this year. And all I have to say, that is, what glass ceiling, honestly. We dominated 2021 and we can't wait for 2022. And originally, we were just going to show you that short clip it and have you go find the video through our link tree in our shop website, but we figured let's just go ahead and show it to yourselves. Let's play the video.
This last year, well, really the last 24 months, has been game-changing for the event world, just as it has for the broader global community. As we learn and grow with joy, we are so proud of the work we have done to get us here, overcoming incredible odds. In 2021, All About Presentation experienced incredible growth and opportunity. Our team nearly tripled in size, opening a need for over 210 event staff and 92 volunteers.
This growth in our team was necessary, as across all events this year, AAP managed 17,730 registrants and 15,427 attendees. This is a staggering attendance rate of over 87%.
Our management needs also grew as we partnered with 309 virtual sponsors, facilitated 310 exhibitors, and managed 776 speakers.
We had an amazing reach as well, with attendees participating from all 50 United States, plus internationally from Israel, China, Japan, Canada, and Mexico.
With this significant growth in project scope and reach, we tracked our accomplishments for a total of over 30,000 completed milestones this year. In total, AAP successfully delivered 51 projects from January to December.
We continually aspire to greater potential, especially through challenging seasons. Of those 51 events, 19 were in person. 3 were on augmented and virtual reality platforms, 7 were new and imaginative forms of hybrid events, and 22 were fully virtual.
Over the course of the unprecedented last 2 years, the increased need for virtual and hybrid connection has opened the world of film and video content in a new way for us. In 2021, All About Presentation opened its first in-house studio suite. We have 4 stages and over 20 customized sets.
Over the course of this year alone, we have logged over 100 hours of film and video production. Of that, 24 hours were virtual recording, 20 hours were off-site filming, and 64 hours were in our studio.
We managed 91 performing talent this year and over 10,724 minutes worth of total video content.
That is 7.5 days straight of binge watching with no breaks.
Our reach is bigger and bolder than ever, pushing the envelope with thought-provoking content.
Working with some of the biggest names today, including Ibram X. Kendi, Jason Reynolds, Rosario Dawson, Russell Wilson, Tank and the Bangas, and Daphne Maxwell Reid.
To service the growing needs of our clients, we had to gain bolder, more advanced technology and skills along the way. We are continually forging a bold future in our events.
We have had the opportunity to produce some of the most incredible projects this year, with creativity and ingenuity leading the way to connect people as widely as possible.
We are in the business of joy. We applied our expertise to the new venue space of hybrid and AR/VR events to bring people more together effectively than ever before. We are pioneering new spaces in the future of events.
Being able to take all the expertise and knowledge AAP already has and bring it home in-house has been an absolutely incredible experience this year.
From the moment someone steps into the studio, we are able to offer the highest level of comfort, care, and ease.
In the changing landscape of today's business world, we are adapting and pushing the envelope, and we don't plan on stopping here.
Because of our vertical integration, we are able to offer an expansive new set of services: film, animation, podcasts, headshots, virtual, hybrid, AR/VR, and more. From end to end, we support you.
None of this would be possible without this fantastic team and all of our partners. Thank you for a great year, and here's to another one to come. Joyful New Year.
Happy New Year. The
Is that okay? I reworded the
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
That video was amazing. And if you want to watch it again, you 100% can. We have it on our YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. YouTube, Instagram, and our shop.
Shop Express Joy.
Yep. Which you can scan that QR code right there to find. And thank you so much to my wonderful co-hosts, Andrea and Holly. And a special thanks to everyone watching. We hope to see you again. We stream every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us on the All About Presentation YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn page. If you can't make it, then no worries. We repost our episodes on our YouTube channel and onto our Facebook page. From all of us at All About Presentation, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Ball drops.
Ball drops.